First and foremost, thank you very much for coming. I also want to tell you just how important this issue is as we join ourselves together here in the Cafegimatorium. We are talking, yeah. This is deeply personal to me on so many levels. Not only is it Ulster County, the place I love and the place I serve as county executive. This school, my wife was the PTA president here. This school is where my son went to elementary school. This community is where I lived on Hoffman Street. And my mom still lives here. In fact, Mr. Carey is my mother-in-law's alderman. So this is very personal. But just as important is the bigger picture. And that is what Strive is all about and how we do this well. I'll talk a little bit about the Strive project. And I'll apologize, Robbie, I will walk a little bit in this process. The Strive project was really designed with this concept. Things were evolving. Populations were falling in the Kingston School District. There were real challenges coming about, and we saw that going on. We also were deeply concerned when we were seeing graduation rates. At the last numbers that I saw before, the most recent ones were 70%, and then we saw, as a graduation rate, we saw 58% of the Hispanic population, 50% of the African American population. We saw deep concerns in that because of what it means. It leads to generational poverty and real challenges. And the reality is that of individuals in the last census, by the way, 25 years and older, almost 60% did not have a college education. And that leads to a long list of other challenges. Now, college is not the end-all and be-all, but I will tell you, greater education leads to more job opportunities. Greater education leads to greater lifetime earnings. So those are the kind of things that are critically important. I also had to do it right for a critical reason. I also have to answer to Jeanette Provenzano. Many of you who don't know her know that that's a pretty serious situation. So as we looked at this, we looked at not only what was going on in the Kingston School District, and really I will say, I have to tip my hat to Dr. Padalino for taking on such difficult challenges and stepping in at such a difficult time. So I asked him to meet with me. And then I looked at Dr. Cott, and I said, Dr. Cott, we have to find a way to make sure that we are better serving inner city individuals. Kids who can walk to high school need to be able to, in some way, shape, or form, walk to college. We want to make sure college preparatory classes can be done right here. We want to make sure that every individual has an opportunity to avail themselves of higher education. And so all of these challenges came together, and the county itself also had some challenges. The county had become a land baron. We had over 70 properties as a county. Over time, as there was a desire to add a service or do a particular action, a building was bought or rented. And so in that situation, we simply had too many properties. And when we stepped and looked at it from the county executive's perspective, kind of an overarching perspective, we said we have to do something about that as well. And so in that process, we brought forward Strive. What Strive really does is knock down a lot of those boundaries. Things used to be done this way. The school would worry about school-related issues, and that was it. And the community college would work on community college-related issues, and the county government would work on county government-related issues. And the problem was, it wasn't working. That silo approach to this had to be broken down if this was going to really work, because we all serve the same exact community. So that's what Strive really embraced. What it means is a three-part process. When it was announced that Sophie Finn would be closed, we looked in the Strive project to move the community college satellite offices to this facility. The other part was to pick up a lot of the health and human services that exist now on 300 Flatbush Avenue, where the health department is, and move those into the Business Resource Center, creating basically a no wrong door, easy access for individuals. So if a veteran needed services and also happened to be a senior, they wouldn't have to travel around town to get those services. They'd be able to walk into a single location and receive all those services in one place. And then ultimately it meant the sale of 300 Flatbush Avenue, something that will be pivotal in doing two things. One, obviously, it's a one-time revenue at the county. But more importantly, it has the capacity to be an economic development driver, going back on the tax rolls in the city of Kingston and being a mechanism and an engine for our economy and helping it grow. So that's the basic concept of the whole process when it comes to Strive. Now the key part is to make sure that we do it well. You're going to hear from Dr. Padalino, you're going to hear from Dr. Cott, both of whom played instrumental roles in bringing this together, and it could not have happened without the leadership of both of those individuals. And you're going to hear from C.S. Arch, who's going to talk a little bit about how we do this and do this well. It's important to understand what tonight's meeting really is. Normally, this meeting would not take place for months, but we wanted to do it as early as possible. We wanted to be ahead of what a mandatory requirement would be under something called SEQA. We wanted to do it so that it was as transparent as possible and people had an opportunity to have input. What is done right now is a feasibility study. What's done right now is a preliminary architectural review. And here's what it really tells us. It tells us that the structure of this facility is very sound. That's a testament to the Buildings and Grounds Department within the school system, and it's a testament to the people who built it in the first place. It's been well maintained, and to be quite frank with you, the bones of it are very strong. The HVAC are great, roof is great. Again, we're very lucky to be able to have a facility like this. The Strive project also benefits from its proximity not only to the high school, but to the hospital. We want to be able to make sure that there are classes here and internships available for individual so we can train people in areas where there are jobs for people. It's another critical step in this process as well. And again, I can't say thank you enough to the Board of Education. I had a very busy day one time. What I did was, early in the day, I met with the Ulster County Legislature and many key legislators, all Kingston legislators in the process as well. Then I went and met with the Board of Trustees at the community college, and in the evening, I met with the Board of Education and the entire community when they began discussing all the different changes that were going on. It was a busy day, but I will tell you, I believe it is a pivotal time in our community. I think we have an opportunity to do something very special here. Okay, that's what we believe this can be. Now the key part is to make sure we do it well. We want to make sure that there aren't water problems in the community. The last thing we want to do is exacerbate any situation that's going on and make sure that there aren't, we're not dealing with stormwater and stormwater runoff. It's an issue. We want to make sure that we don't create additional traffic burdens. We also want to make sure that we are addressing things like lighting, that we're doing all the things that you want us to do in this process to make sure it's done well, that it's really done with an eye towards a real integration with the community and to make sure that this is an asset. I will also tell you, for anybody who lives in this area, I've never seen a situation, nor have I been able to uncover a situation, in which having a college built in your community lowers property values. I've never seen it. And so we're very hopeful that this will be a benefit to the people that live right here in the community. And like I said, I still got to answer to my mother-in-law who lives 2 streets over. So in this process, I hope you understand, this is designed to deal with very serious challenges that are going on within, not just in Ulster County, but across the entire state and in many cases across the nation. We're dealing with these challenges head on, and we're dealing them with innovative solutions. And that's what the goal is here, is to do things that are going to make our community a better place. And then to do it with the sensitivities necessary to make sure that the community isn't negatively impacted. And so that's really the focus of this. Now, so after everyone speaks, we're also going to open it up to questions. And again, we look forward to answering any questions. If they're easy, I'll answer them. If they're hard, Chris White's here. And so we'll move through this process. But we've brought some very talented individuals with us today to be able to answer any question you may have. So please don't hesitate to ask them at the end. And so with that, I would really like to give an opportunity for Dr. Cott to say a few words. SUNY Ulster.